1. Well, welcome in to My Dogs Are Barking on MPW Digital. I'm Landon. I'm joined by Austin, and it's the Thursday show. It's the matchups and pick show. Probably my favorite show we do of the week. We're going to talk about Mississippi State and Missouri. Also talk about some big time matchups this week. Austin, the thing about college football that's so great is the storylines. I mean, storylines is what gets us to a movie theater. It's what gets us oftentimes to stay so in tune with the football season. There's a lot of storylines that are going to be kind of sorted out this weekend. Indiana kind of having their dream season, taking on Ohio State. Ole Miss taking on a Florida team that just upset LSU and having DJ Lagway be there. A&M on the road at Auburn. A lot of good stuff. And maybe the story of Mississippi State having a positive as you can turn into next season as they take on Missouri and vie for the potential upset. Austin's not a believer, though, folks. He's not a believer that State's going to win this.
Yeah, no, I picked it 38-24. I'm saying Missouri's going to win it. We got 2 more games to go, and then we're in full swing basketball season. So, guys, Mississippi State fans, just hang in there a little bit longer. It's almost over. But if we can keep both of these games even competitive, especially the Missouri game, if we can stay in this game and create just a little bit more excitement at home, it would be very important. And then obviously we'll touch on the Ole Miss game next week. I don't want to get too into that, but if we keep it close, I'm feeling great.
This game has Mississippi State has a 33-22 feel to it, to where it's 10-point range somewhere around there. I could just see that happening because it's had a lot of these games have happened that way. Brady Cook is playing for Missouri. For all Mississippi State fans that are wondering, like, is he going to play? Is he not going to play? And something that I think is funny, that this is just Mississippi State's luck. Brady Cook, Coach Eli Drinkowitz said that Brady Cook said he is, quote, choosing to play this weekend to try to fight through and finish his career strong at Missouri. So, I mean, he could be taking time off for the NFL draft, but no siree. He wants to finish off 2-8 Mississippi State, or 2-7, whatever they are, before the end of the season. So Brady Cook will be playing. We thought potentially, like, okay, maybe he'll have an opt out. Maybe there'll be guys that says, you know what, now that this playoff run is done, we're done as well. But that did not happen, Austin. Instead, Brady Cook will be playing for Missouri, but a lot of really big games to get to, and obviously we'll make our final predictions of this game. But before we do that, we want to let you know that this podcast, My Dogs Are Barking, is brought to you in part by Arpa's Coffee Bar in the Cotton District. Arpa's is a place, I'll tell you what, Austin, I will be stopping by this Saturday before the game starts to grab some coffee on my way to Davis Wade. Might grab a delicious breakfast sandwich. I'm not sure. You can have breakfast. You can have breakfast all day. There's nothing wrong with that. But Arpa's understands that great food and drinks are best enjoyed in the company of friends and loved ones. We cannot agree more. Their great, inviting atmosphere is the perfect backdrop for laughter, conversations, shared memories, and whether you're just speaking a great, kind of looking for a good spot to catch up with friends, a lively gathering spot, or just a good place to celebrate a special occasion. Their friendly staff is dedicated to ensure your experience is nothing short of exceptional. It's located in the heart of the Cotton District in Starkville. And listen to this. If you mention that you are a listener of My Dogs Are Barking, you receive 15% off your order. Not a bad deal, man. You can't, you go to Starbucks down the road and you get a, whatever, a mocha chocolate latte iced. They don't care about discounts. In fact, they're going to charge you even more. All right. They don't care about inviting, very fun, inviting backdrop for shared laughter and great experiences at Starbucks. No, siree. But ARPA's, that's what they're all about. So make sure you visit them. Make sure you mention My Dogs Are Barking. Austin, this week, obviously, we got Mississippi State and Missouri. Mississippi State men's basketball is going to be taking on SMU in a huge game. SMU is a very, very talented team. That's going to be a huge kind of test for Mississippi State. And Mississippi State women's soccer celebrating an unbelievable season. Speaking of ARPAs, they were just out there on the soccer field supplying coffee to folks watching the game. But they're going to be taking on the Washington Huskies on Friday night, and that's going to be a huge game, man. I love that State fans are really buying into the soccer team and wanting to support them here in the second round of the NCAA tournament. But Austin, here's the first game I wanted to get to. A couple weeks ago, I made the prediction that will end up being wrong, or last week maybe it was. Indiana lost to Michigan. I had Michigan winning the game. They did not. But now Indiana is going to play Ohio State. Ohio State is favored. This is 11 a.m. kickoff on Saturday, Austin. Do the Hoosiers have a chance to remain undefeated in this game?
I mean, a chance I would say, yeah. I think I'm gonna have to pick Ohio State on this. I think the Indiana run is over. I mean, they've already extended Kurt Signetti already. I mean, what a unbelievable job he's done. He's a fantastic coach. He's been everywhere across the country. Then obviously the last, I believe, two. I mean, he was at James Madison for a little bit. Obviously put them on the map. And he's done an unbelievable job at Indiana. Imagine being an Indiana fan. I can't imagine how good you're feeling right now, win or lose this game. They could lose by 20 points, and I feel like Indiana should be feeling great. But yeah, I'm picking Ohio State. I think Indiana just hasn't played anybody at Ohio State's level. I mean, this is a top 5 game. Ohio State already lost to Oregon, which was another top 5 game. They need this win bad. They really need this win bad. Ryan Day needs this win bad. And I believe they're going to be able to pull it off. I just think Indiana, what a season. They're still a heck of a football team, but I think Ohio State's just going to be too much for them. And I think they're 9-0, 10-0 right now. Something. I think 10-0.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be. I think that run's going to be over.
Well, you mentioned Ohio State needing the win bad. Well, I got to tell you, because Ohio State, what they ideally want to do is win the conference so they can be a host. They can not worry about the first round. I think if Ohio State ends up hosting a playoff game, so kind of that they skip the bye, they host a game. I think that Ohio State's not being talked enough as a team that could win it all. Like I know Will Howard's not like NFL guy, but they have so many different weapons that I think they can compete. I mean, honestly, with anybody. So I'm with you. Ohio State. This would be such a huge win for Ohio State. If they're on the road, they're having to do some things. I'm not as confident. But they're a team that at home is really, really good. I mean, their record at home, I don't even remember the last game they lost at home. Maybe Michigan a couple of years ago. But I mean, it's single digits in the last 3 or 4 years. So I'm with you. I'm just, man, I like that Indiana is at least competing. I really am. But they haven't played anyone. I mean, they beat Michigan, but I don't know. They have not played. This is by far the hardest game on the schedule. So I am glad for Indiana because, man, I would not have thought this in a million years that Indiana, I mean, them ever just making a bowl is like, good for them. Think about this, Austin, real quick. Can you before this year, can you name a player from Indiana that ended up being a pro in the NFL?
No, I mean De'Aaron King, I think was there before Miami, but he. I
That
mean,
was
I don't.
Houston. Houston.
Oh, then no, I don't know anybody. That's wild. Yeah, I don't think they have anybody probably.
I'm racking my brain. I genuinely don't think I can name anybody like a tight end or something. There's got to be somebody at a wide receiver position. Basketball obviously is a different story, but I can't think of anybody from Indiana that's been a NFL guy. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, Ohio State's going to win this game big. But good for Indiana. It does suck though. It's 11 a.m. Like, why not put these games in the prime time, man? This big noon kid. I love Joel Klatt. I think he's one of the best. I think he's one of the best out there. But man, why don't they make this the big 7 p.m. kickoff or something? This big noon kickoff is hurting my feelings. Ole Miss and Florida. Ole Miss is favored by 10. 10, yeah, favored by 10 over Florida. Florida just had a huge win over LSU. Let's talk about Ole Miss for a second, Austin. Ole Miss, after they lost to LSU, most people said it's over, it's done. That's it. They are going to be out of the playoff conversation. And then all of a sudden, they kept racking up wins, and they beat Georgia in such a convincing fashion. And now, Ole Miss, and it did not look likely a couple weeks ago, but Ole Miss is now likely to make the college football playoff. But they've got to go through Florida. They have to somehow beat Florida in this game. Ole Miss, though, is in the driver's seat for the future. Now, they probably, because they're lost to Kentucky, have likely missed their chance to host. I think they're going to have to go on the road in the playoff, but that's what you get for losing to Kentucky. They go on the road at Florida at 11 a.m. DJ Lagway looks like he will play, but I mean, he was good versus LSU, but not able to be incredibly mobile. What is your thoughts on this game going into Saturday, 11 a.m. in Florida.
Yeah, I think DJ Lagway is going to have, I mean, an all-time game for him when it comes to SEC play. Just I'm pretty sure I think it's in Gainesville. That's going to help them out a whole lot. But yeah, I mean, last week I came on here and said I'm not buying the Ole Miss hype. Georgia's going to beat them. And I was dead wrong about that. I'll admit that. And then 2 weeks ago they beat the absolute brakes off Arkansas. Ole Miss did, and so the past 2 weeks they have been rolling. And so I don't see why they're not going to roll this week too against a Florida team whose defense is not incredibly good. Yeah, give me Ole Miss. I'm going to say probably about 14 plus. I think that they're just going to be much better. But I do think that Florida's offense maybe might be able to get something. And I really want this game to be close, but I don't know. I'm saying Ole Miss probably about 14 plus.
Well, it seems like I think the reason that Ole Miss is going to win this game is because Ole Miss's defensive line is really, really good. We know that. And DJ Lagway is not going to be able to escape the pressure. And so I really feel like that's where they're going to have their main struggle with that. So because of that reason, I'm out when it comes to Florida. I think Ole Miss is going to really get after Lagway, and there's nothing he can do. So Ole Miss will win that one, and then it will come down to Egg Bowl week. Now, I did want to mention for Egg Bowl week for the show, just to bring you up. I mean, this is a very big week for MPW Digital. This is the week where for all Mississippi State fans and Ole Miss fans are going to be getting all their content, and the teams play each other this week. And so for My Dogs Are Barking, we are going to aim to be have an episode every day of the week for Egg Bowl week. And so we've got several great interviews lined up. Very excited about those. We'll announce some of those on our Twitter page. Make sure you're following us there. It's just at MyDawgsPod. But that's going to be huge. So make sure you pay attention and pay close attention to the entire network. But make sure also you're locked into My Dogs Are Barking, because we've got some very good stuff for Egg Bowl week. You know what I was thinking about today, Austin? So this show has been going on since last year. So last May, I think is when I started. But it really didn't start picking up steam until, I don't know, a couple months ago, before the football season started, like in the summers, when we really started trying to do things consistently. And I was just thinking, man, out of all the times you could have possibly done a Mississippi State podcast, we really picked the worst time to like broadcast it to so many people, right? Like we've got some pretty good numbers on streaming for Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and then we got some stuff on YouTube as well. But like, out of all the times, man, why this season?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, the past 2 years, last year we went 5-7. This year, I don't want to talk to things in stone, but it looks like we're going to go 2-10. It does suck. It does suck, but I think that we're on the upward spiral, hopefully, and so hopefully, if we being consistent, hopefully the Bulldogs start rolling, or we might have to just become a basketball podcast and pretend like the football team got disbanded or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we do soccer, baseball, and basketball here. We're just mainly those. A lot of other football content you can go to, but that's all we do. That'd be funny. Yeah, I know, man. Yeah, if you keep going to it, but the good news is, if Mississippi State ever picks it up, then we'll really look good. Like, man, we were there in the literal worst times when we got whooped by Toledo, and Toledo's Twitter fans started going crazy and talking smack. Yeah, it's bad stuff. Alabama has got Oklahoma this week. They are going on the road at Norman. Alabama's only favored by 13.5 in this game. I think Alabama is going to, no pun intended, they're going to roll in this game, right?
Yeah, I think maybe Oklahoma's defense is a little bit better than people think. I think that's what Vegas might have been talking about when they said when they had that spread. Yeah, I just think I don't see how Oklahoma's going to stay in this game. Offensively, they've been so bad. I mean, I don't know who they're going to start, Jackson Arnold or Anthony. I think it's Anthony Hawkins. I don't know who they're going to start. Both guys have not really gotten anything rolling. If I were to guess, I'd probably say Jackson Arnold, but we'll see. But yeah, I think the Tide is going to be absolutely rolling this Saturday, like you said, and I think there's not going to be any problem. And I think that Kalen DeBoer is going to feel good going into the Iron Bowl week.
Yeah, and Alabama's a team that's not being talked about. Alabama's a dangerous team when it comes to the playoff, man. That's just not a team I want to play. I know that they've got their issues, but if Alabama puts everything together, dude, I don't want any part of them. I think other teams are feeling that as well. So, and it looks like, I know the SEC championship race is still kind of shaping up. If Bama can skip the the SEC championship and go straight into the playoff, not worry about because Ole Miss. It looks like Ole Miss is going to be playing in the championship game, which is not not the best thing of all time. You think about potential injury. Lane Kiffin has straight up said he does not want to coach and he does not want to play in that game. Just a lot of problems could happen. I did want to get to this one. LSU and Vanderbilt. LSU is going to be in Baton Rouge. Vanderbilt, man, if you would have told me this line ahead of the season, I wouldn't have believed you. But LSU's favored by only 7.5 over Vanderbilt in this game. I don't think Vanderbilt's going to have the ability to walk into Death Valley and win. But boy, have I been shocked by Vanderbilt already this season.
Yeah, win or lose this game, they could lose game by 20 points. This is another team where, just an unbelievable season. Unbelievable season. I think Clark Lee, might need to win Coach of the Year. They've just been undescribably bad. Just since James Franklin was there when he won 9 games, they've been so bad ever since. And this is insane. This game is at like in Baton Rouge. My brain cannot fathom that. And yeah, give me LSU. I think Brian Kelly needs to step up. I'm so tired of talking, bad about LSU, but man, I really like LSU and I really like their team that they have. But then every Saturday they come and disappoint. Every single Saturday. So give me LSU. I think Brian Kelly and the LSU Tigers need a win after that terrible, terrible game against Florida. Just undescribably bad. I know their fans are feeling absolutely terrible about how things are going. But yeah, give me LSU to bounce back.
I'm with you. Yeah, LSU won that game. All right, Austin. I'm actually going to leave you solo for a second. I have to go get something, but it's not a prop or anything fun. I just forgot something. So I'm going to leave Austin to talk about Texas A&M and Auburn. A&M is on the road at Auburn. They are only favored by 2.5 points in this game. Austin, tell us who you got.
Yeah, I got A&M. I don't see Auburn's been. They've really been struggling. Again, this is another team that's been highly disappointing this season. Hugh Freeze and the guys, have like the same record as Brian Harsin this far, maybe even worse than Brian Harsin in 2 years. But obviously, with the recruiting classes is a whole lot better. But yeah, give me A&M. Nick Scorton on the edge. He should be a top 5 pick. I'm not. I'm obviously I'm not an NFL mock draft kind of guy, but he could easily be a top 5 pick in this draft. He's unbelievable. And then, I don't know who they're going to start. Marcel Reed, Connor Wigman. I don't know, but I would probably start Marcel Reed over him. But they've been playing some pretty good football, and I just think Auburn, man, they've been highly, highly disappointed. They could end the year at 4-8. That's definitely looking like it could happen. So yeah, give me A&M. Give me A&M. I just think they're going to be too much, and Auburn and that offense has just really been struggling and haven't been rolling all season.
Nice pick. That's a very nice pick. Sorry, I had to step out for a second. I'll tell you about it later on. But yeah, I'm with you. It looks as if A&M is in a good spot to beat Auburn. Auburn's been very disappointing, but I got to tell you, I cannot talk about this game because I'm going to be talking about it a little bit later on in the Against the Odds segment. But before we get to that, Austin, we got to talk about Mississippi State. And, just to bring you up, we won't be picking these games, but just some other interesting games. Actually, I think one of the best games on Saturday is not an SEC game. It's not a Big 10 game. It's a Big 12 game. BYU, one-loss BYU, is going on the road to play Arizona State, who is favored by 3 points. That's going to be a very good game. Arizona State, man, is so good. Kenny Dillingham. If you're Mississippi State, what Arizona State has done with Kelly Dillingham is the exact same thing you want to do. Last year they went 3-9, but they competed. They lost 9 games. This season, they brought in, I think they said they brought in 60 new players this past year, completely redid the roster. That is what you want to do for Mississippi State, because now look at Arizona State this year. They've got all these players. They found random guys from Portland State, a.k.a. Cam Scatabo. They found guys, from every nook and cranny, and now their team's going. And one of their losses that they had, they only have 2 losses for the season, but their starting quarterback didn't even play in. So that's what you want. But BYU is a good team. They just lost last week to Kansas, but they're still looking good for the college football playoff. That's gonna be a good game. And then also Colorado speaking of Kansas, going at Kansas. Colorado Austin is a potential playoff team. As crazy as that is to say, I definitely did not see that coming. And people will hate if Deion Sanders is in the playoff. But it's possible they win the game, or they win that game and end up going to the Big 12 championship.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, they went 4-8
You're a
last year.
Deion guy, aren't you?
Yeah, listen, I mean, I love Deion Sanders. I love Colorado. I just love everything about Deion. I mean, just I love Deion so much. People, I mean, I've been one to stick up for Deion the past year and a half since he got to Colorado. He got so much hate last year. I mean, they were 1-11. He gets there, they're 4-8, and people were still just incredibly hating on him. And then coming into this year, I mean, Shador's getting incredible hate. And I did not, I mean, I'm not going to be like, I saw this coming being this good. I did most definitely did not see them being this good in just his second year. But yeah, I would love for them to make the Big 12 a championship. And I most definitely think they can. They can win it. They really could legitimately win it. And I don't know if Dion's going to be there next year. I really don't. I mean, I don't know if he'll say that he definitely saw it coming, but I don't know if he definitely saw it coming. This is unbelievable. And with Shador leaving, Travis Hunter, they might go 1-2 in the draft. I just saw a mock draft today. It had Shador at number 1, Travis at number 2. This could most definitely happen. And then, Dion could probably go wherever he wants to, honestly, because he's just, man, what he's doing in just his second year at Colorado, it's incredible.
Yeah, they're even love or hate Deion. There's no denying he's been really, really impressive. Austin, let's talk about Mississippi State and Missouri before we get to our against the odds segment. Man, listen, Mississippi State and it can drive you crazy, can drive you absolutely nuts. And honestly, it can kind of make you look at all the different things in life and be, really kind of take accountability and take count of what's important, and really see if you're rich, as a person. But hey, what does it mean to be rich? Maybe it's less about reaching a magic number and more about discovering the magic in life. Skip Langley is your Batesville, Mississippi, Edward Jones advisor, serving clients in the area and across the state. Count on him for financial strategies that can help you support a life you love. Because the key to being rich is knowing what counts. So contact him today at 662-563-9843. And together you can find your rich. Edward Jones, member SIPC. You like the transition there, Austin. Mississippi State is going in there hosting Missouri, Austin, at 3:15. No night game for Davis Wade the rest of the season. Missouri is coming off a loss to, why am I tripping? Who did Missouri just lose to?
South Carolina.
South Carolina, yeah. Jeez Louise, I'm out of it, man. Is coming off a loss to them. Now something about Missouri's defense I did want to bring up. Missouri, I think Mississippi State only wins this game if they run the ball very effectively. That's just I really feel that way. Missouri is 53rd in the nation, so a little bit above average when it comes to defending the run. They give up about 140 yards per game on the ground. If Mississippi State can get above that average, if Mississippi State gets 150 yards of running in this game, they win the game. I think Mississippi State has a shot here, Austin, but man, I have trouble saying with any sort of confidence they're going to pull this upset off. And I want to reiterate one more time. We are a Mississippi State, show, an SEC show. We have only picked one SEC game for Mississippi State to win this season, and it was versus Arkansas, and that was very wrong. Where do you go with this game, Austin?
Yeah, you got to pick Missouri. Just this defense, man. The defense is killing me. We got to get that man out. And I think I'm not going to say his name, but I think we all know who we're talking about. We got to get him out of town. Maybe Sunday. I mean, listen, this game could get ugly. This game could be close. I mean, I could see it definitely going both ways. Like I said, I picked Arkansas. I picked us to beat Arkansas by a field goal. I think I said 27-24, and then we lose by 33 points. This game could be a blowout. This game could be very close. This game, 5% chance we win the game. I mean, like, this is just I mean, I don't know what to expect. I get scared to watch this defense every single time they step on the field. I don't because I just don't know what we're going to see. If we can stop the run and just limit big plays, this game could be close. But can we stop big plays? I don't know. I mean, Brady Cook can throw it down deep. Dio Weiss Jr., Luther Burden. There was one more guy. I forgot who's their like wide receiver three, but I know he's a dog too. We just got to stop, limit these bad plays. We got a week of rest, which could like boom or bust this team. I don't know how that's going to look, but yeah, I mean another week to get healthy, but yeah, offensively, I
The
just don't know
question
where
is,
we're going to be.
are those guys from Missouri though? The question really is, are those guys motivated? Like, do they really care? They're out of the playoff race. So, like, is Luther Burden like he really about to go over the middle with the NFL draft coming up? I don't know. That's the part of it that I don't know about. Like, if Missouri is locked in and then they're focused, we really are going to try to finish strong. State's in a lot of trouble because Brady Cook can throw it deep, but and Luther Burden can catch it over the top along with really any other receiver they have.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know, but see, we didn't see a ton of crazy bombs from Nico in the first half versus Tennessee, and we thought that was going to be he's going to throw it all over the place.
yeah.
And while he did have some success, but not like we thought.
Yeah, that's true, and they scored 2 touchdowns in the first half, and both of them were long throws. I mean, they just didn't try it, enough. They should have done it way more often, and then that second half, they just kept throwing it deep. We would get a pass interference or they would catch the ball. I mean, it was one and another, and that's the same thing. I don't think Luther Burden, I mean, it's gonna sound goofy to say, but I don't even know if he's going to have to really try to just run up his numbers because we just don't have the personnel on anybody defensively to stop them. I mean, Isaac Smith's our best guy, but he's not good at all in coverage. We saw it with that first, well, no, not in coverage, but in man to man, he's not good. We saw it on that first touchdown against Tennessee when they threw it deep. Isaac Smith was guarding him. I mean, and he blew by Isaac Smith. It was really ugly. And I love Isaac Smith to death. He's our best defender. And I mean, he's our best player. Uh,
Seventh most
potential.
tackles in the entire nation.
Yeah, which is incredible. And if he's playing these two more games, I bet he'll be number one. And yeah, it's unbelievable. But offensively, I just don't know who we're going to see. Last week against Tennessee, we were very bad offensively, but Tennessee had a great defense. Tennessee has a better defense than Missouri. I think that we'll be able to, I mean, there's just 2 weeks have gone by. Michael Van Buren's been playing with the starters again, practicing with the starters. I think that's going to help him a whole lot. This offensive line has gotten a weaker rest, which I think could only help. And yeah, but I'm taking Missouri 38-24, like I said. But I mean, if we score 24 points, I'm feeling good.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take 33-22 Missouri. I think they end up winning this game. Wouldn't be shocked at all if this is the one where Mississippi State pulls it off and puts it together. Like I said, I think that magic number is 150 yards from Mississippi State. Get above the average, and see what happens, man. Lord have mercy. This is going to be pretty insane to watch this season in terms of the home stretch finally end. It's been rough. Goodness gracious. All right, now we move to the final segment of the show. Sorry, this is a little bit of a longer episode, but a lot of stuff we had to talk about, Austin. It's our Against the Odds segment. It's the segment that has been the most successful on the show. It is where Austin and I pick one underdog to win outright for this game. Austin, I don't know where you're going with your game. I'm going to go ahead and mention mine since I hinted at it earlier on, and here it is. Mike Elko and Texas A&M, they're focused completely on Auburn. Mike Elko was caught saying that exact thing at his press conference, saying we are completely and fully committed, focused on Texas. Auburn. They're not. They really are focused on Texas. That is a big game. This is a really weird one, man. Like Auburn at night, I know they're not as talented. I know Peyton Thorne's not it. But if Auburn gets the running game going, and I think that they will, I'm taking Auburn to win this game. Very, 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 very close. A&M a little distracted. Auburn at home at night. I'm taking the Auburn Tigers to upset Texas A&M, Austin.
Wow, I mean, if that comes true, I mean, I got to give you props next week because Auburn really looked struggled, but I mean that line is very close. It is very very close. So we'll see what happens. That's a very interesting pick. But I did hear that. I thought that was hilarious. But my pick, My pick is I'm picking Rutgers over Illinois. It's at Rutgers. Illinois is favored by a point. Illinois is favored number 25 in the country. Luke Altmaier has been playing unbelievable. The Starkville native, all Mississippi State fans know Luke Altmaier. But Rutgers, 53% of ESPN has Rutgers to win. They have a 1,000-yard rusher. Their quarterback play has not been very good, but it's been good enough to lead them to 6-4. And how good, like, it's on Peacock. Nobody, who wants to go to Peacock to watch a Rutgers Illinois game? That's going to be, I don't know how ratings are going to be for this game, but who cares? But yeah, I think that Rutgers can pull this off. And how cool would it be for Rutgers at home to get a top 25 win? I mean, nobody saw that coming. They're 6-4. I don't think anybody saw that coming so far. And give me Rutgers. I think there's a very interesting pick, and I'm feeling pretty good about it, to be honest.
That is a good pick. With no thought, I have not thought about Rutgers football in general in a long time, and will not be watching this one for sure. But that's one of those picks that you're like, I probably wouldn't watch that game, but that makes sense. And as I mentioned, you have the best percentage on picking these underdog games by a long shot. So if anybody should listen to someone, it's you. You are right on these things, Austin. So. But yes, very excited for Saturday. I certainly will be stopping by ARPA's. If you end up stopping by ARPA's, let me know. Maybe shoot us a tag on Twitter. Let us know what you got. It's going to be a fun one, man. Also, my dogs are credentialed. I'll be covering that game for the podcast. We'll have an article after the game on Substack. So that is very exciting for the success of our show. We'll be able to be in there with head coach Jeff Levy for the press conference. That's good stuff, man. And thank you guys for all of your support. Which allows us to kind of gain some trust in order to be credentialed. So that's awesome, man. We sure do appreciate you guys listening each and every week, and want the audience to continue to grow, to talk about Mississippi State sports, to talk about the SEC, and we will be back on Sunday for our what was right, what went wrong, and what was missing against Arkansas. Hopefully, this will be the first time we'll have something about what went right. They won the game. We haven't been able to do that in a very long time. So make sure you check back with us Sunday. We'll also have the recap of the SMU and Mississippi State basketball game. A lot of good stuff coming up. So thank you so much for listening to the My Dogs Are Barking podcast.